Hello, everyone. My name is Victor Vapor-Cui, and I am the president-elect for the 2024 to 2026 term for the Philippine Nurses Association of Northeast Florida. Today, I am very excited to introduce you to Project Tulong, which stands for Transition Program Utilizing Lasting Opportunities for Nursing Graduates from the Philippines. So Project Tulong is a strategic priority of the Philippine Nurses Association of Northeast Florida to implement a multidimensional transition program for internationally educated nurses from the Philippines, addressing the assimilation and integration of immigrant Philippine nurses into the United States. Project Tulong has become a top priority as discerned in our most recent SOAR analysis, but thanks to the generous funding from the Mabuhay Nurses Fund, this fund was specifically raised by a group of Filipino American physicians based here in Jacksonville, Florida, to support the transition of these nurses due to the urgent sociocultural as well as economic and professional constraints that they individually face. So, to substantiate the multidimensional transition, we introduce a two-prong approach, and that's in the form of the Akbay Initiative and the Dunong Initiative. The Akbay Initiative, which stands for ambassadorship and kinship to bolster assimilation and integration, focuses more on the economic, political, and sociocultural aspects of the immigrant nurses' needs. But key to this initiative is basically partnering the nurses with mentors that will act as the ates or the kuyas, from among the PNA Northeast Florida members. For the Dunong initiative, it's actually a comprehensive 4-week didactic curriculum that's designed to provide essential nursing updates for the international educated nurses. However, to fulfill the requirements for this particular project plan or management plan, the remainder of the presentation will only delve on the Akbay initiative due to time constraints. The primary goal of the Akbay initiative is to promote successful sociocultural adaptation of internationally educated nurses through normative practices, attitudes, and values in the United States. Specifically, we aim to facilitate the assimilation and integration of at least 20 Filipino nurses into the U.S. healthcare system by October 2025 here in the Northeast Florida area. Um, as objectives, at the end of the 12 months, we expect the following outcomes from the international educated nurses. First is reduced anxiety scores, and we will be doing this through the state trait anxiety inventory instrument. We also, the next is increased knowledge of U.S. clinical practices, and this will be evidenced by the completion of educational seminars and cultural competency courses, with participants receiving their completion certificates. Third is increased program participation, and this will be monitored through quarterly evaluations, which we call check-ins. And we will be using the mentor evaluation tool as an instrument to guide these check-ins. The significance of Project Tulong lies in its comprehensive approach, specifically to integration, retention, and cultural competency. So the primary goal of the Akbay initiative is to enhance the sociocultural integration and assimilation of internationally educated nurses. The setting is going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, focusing on the local community and healthcare systems in Duval County. The timeline for the project, it extends over 12 months, optimistically 12 to 18 months. This will allow us to tackle challenges and refine any elements and maximize long-term impact. Expected outcomes include reduced cultural barriers and increased support for these internationally educated nurses. The project involves active mentorship by PNA Northeast Florida members. So each international educated nurse will be paired with a dedicated mentor, an ate or kuya, who will provide guidance throughout this transition period. Exclusion, certain aspects are not going to be included in the project, such as housing assistance, health insurance, legal or financial counseling. And if these services may be addressed through external resources or recommendations. The project timeline is laid out in the figure that you see at the bottom of the slide. The project innovation, first we have multi-dimensional approach involving the combination of Akbay and Dunong initiatives. Next is through the Akbay initiative, We came up with a personalized and potentially long-term mentorship. Next is cultural competency training, and the development of this training will also give rise to cultural awareness and sensitivity among the international educated nurses. We also develop collaborative partnerships with different entities, so far with Filipino American physicians in Jacksonville, Florida. We also have partnerships with hospitals and organizations locally. And finally, central to this program is a good mentor and mentee relationship. We also plan to establish peer support networks through social media for the internationally educated nurses. The initiative will run from October 2024 to October 2025, providing a comprehensive support system over a 12-month period. Sustainability, ensuring sustainability of the ACBA initiative relies heavily on active member engagement as well as effective project coordination. To achieve our goals, we require dedicated mentors who will provide personalized support. We also need materials for training, and of course, cultural competency workshops, which will require venues for meetings and events. For funding, we will be relying on the Mabuhay Nurses Fund for the initial year. But to sustain the project, we need to come up with fundraising activities for continuity. The cost of the Akbay initiative is $8,600 for the targeted 20 international educated nurses. And this budget covers the welcome packages, transportation assistance, the PNAA membership for the first year, etc. We must consider potential risks such as budgetary overruns and engagement issues. And to mitigate this, we will implement careful budgetary management and, of course, the active participation of the members.